Hello everybody and welcome back to season 2 of Vintage Story. My name is Tinokin and last episode we left off with a half-built barn for the animals, so let's get right back into it. So this is the area for the chickens. I've changed it a little bit. I've raised the fence because otherwise I think they can get on the troughs and then jump over. Same over here with the hen boxes. And then here's the outside area where they can get out and back in. Comes with its own rift, very atmospheric. And I've put a little secret food storage over here to store all the animal feed. So the next thing we have to do is to bring over the chickens. And this shouldn't be too hard to do actually, because they're going to run away from us, so hopefully we can just chase them. We just need to create a really long tunnel because we need to take them all the way over here. And then I'm guessing inside the front door and into their little pen. So I'm just gonna give them a quite narrow thing to go through so they don't like run around me and run behind me, and it's going to be a whole mess. Okay, so if everything goes well, this should be fun. If not, it might be a disaster. Come on, can you get up there? Perfect. No, that's the wrong direction. Yes. Good job. No. No, you can't get out there. You just close this off behind me. Just to make sure they don't run back. Yeah, no. No, you're actually doing fine. You're doing good. Now let's get in there. Gonna close this door. But can you make it through there? Huh? Or do you... Oh, perfect. I'm so happy. Now I have all my little animals here. I have my chickens, I have my sheep, I have my pigs. So now all I need to do is feed them and make them have babies. And yeah, put a roof on this. That would be a good idea, I guess. Okay, so I have good and bad news. The good news is that we have baby pigs. The bad news is that it's going to be very loud while we build the roof. So the baby pigs are still in here. I'm wondering if they're going to start running out once I put some food outside. Oh no, there's a few already here. They're all trying to get back in. Aww. But that's kind of sad actually. Are you trying to get back to mommy? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not how this works. Okay, so I've been thinking about what kind of materials I want to use for the roof. And while I do like some of the options that are in-game for roofs, for example the thatch roofing would look quite nice, I'm not really a fan of the 45-degree roof angle. I'm still debating for the main house whether I'm going to keep it or not. And for the main house I do have like kind of an interesting roof lines with like different like volumes of roof. And that helps, but I don't have that for the barn. And so I really don't want to go for like the plain 45-degree roof. So that means I need to do some chiseling. And what kind of block am I going to chisel? I had an idea and I think I want to use hay blocks. And I'm wondering if that's going to look good or just like completely weird. So I just want to start trying that out. I'm hoping that it will kind of look like thatch roofing, but with like a custom roof angle. So basically this is what I'm going for with the roof shape. And I think it doesn't look too bad. I think we can work with that. One issue that I've noticed is that it's very difficult for me to place the grass blocks in the right direction. But what I can do is as soon as I start chiseling them, they keep their direction, so I can just like place them on the ground like this, activate the chiseling on them like this, just right click all of them with the chisel, and then if I take them again, they're no longer stacking with the other ones, but basically I can just place them like this and they will keep the right orientation. So I guess I have a lot of chiseling to do and also a lot of cutting of grass still, probably. I do have 2 or 3 stacks of this stuff, but I don't think that's enough. Well, I just saved you all several hours of cutting grass and placing grass blocks and chiseling grass blocks. Seriously, it took so long, and it's been raining the entire time. Like, it hasn't stopped raining once. So I think I ended up needing 5 stacks of grass blocks, and each grass block is 8 grass. So that's 40 stacks of grass that I needed to do that. And the terrible thing is that now that it's chiseled, we can't use it as grass anymore. Even if we decide to do something else for the roof, those chiseled blocks are just wasted then. This is still a really sad sight, and I think I might change the entire thing because I don't want to look at those sad little piggies the entire time that are trying to get back to their moms. Probably I'm just going to keep a few pigs inside and then keep a few pigs outside and just breed the ones on the outside and keep the ones inside as backup in case of bears, you know. Our sheep are still pregnant and I'm waiting for them to give birth, but that might be a little while longer. And our chickens have laid eggs. 3 of them in the hen box, but the timer has not gone down yet, not even a little bit, I think, because I just kept disturbing the chickens and they always need a little bit of time to settle down again and before they start sitting on the hen box again. So I'm wondering if it's actually like such a good idea to have the hen boxes over there where I think they're going to be disturbed even if I just walk by on the outside here, the way the animals work here. So maybe I need to flip the locations of the food and the hen boxes. So inside here I made another layer of roofing with the wood because with the chiseled blocks you can never be quite certain that they're going to hold off the snow and things like that, and I didn't want like a layer of snow to appear in here. And that actually brings me to an issue that I have thought of, which is that with the one high fences, if there is snowfall, I think the animals might be able to get out, or like other animals might be able to get in, and that's not good. And I don't really know what I'm going to do about that yet, but I think I'll burn that bridge when I come to it. So I'm happy with how the roof looks. I'm not quite happy yet with the rest. It's definitely too uniform right now. I need to add some texture and some depth somehow. I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I'm slightly bothered by the fact that the roof is all like the same color and texture too, so maybe I will just like exchange the occasional block with something that looks like similar but not quite. Need to find the perfect block for that. But for now I think we've made a really nice home for our animals and I can't wait to get more babies. I'm waiting for my chickens, and of course nothing's going to happen if they come in here constantly. I need to stop that. And then of course I'm waiting for my first ever sheep babies, and that's going to be very exciting. So there's something I've been meaning to do for a while, and that is put some paths around the village so that it looks more like an actual village and less like just some random houses like plunked somewhere in the landscape. And now I finally got around to doing it, and I really like it. And someone else has, probably Nebris, also continued the paths over here, so that's really, really great. So that also makes it easier to get around. The only issue I have now is that over here, the bee farm is kind of in my way, in the way of where I want to build the path. And I've been meaning to take that down for a while now, because it's in a place where I don't really like it. I can hear the bees from inside, which annoys me. So I think I'm going to move that. I think I'm going to tear it down and move it. And I'm probably going to move it over here. We do have some empty space here between mine and Or's base. And I don't want to have it too close to my animals, because the angry bees will attack animals if they find them, so that's not good. So I think here would be a really good spot for it. So you guys know that I don't really like square designs, but here I made the path in a way that it's already a little bit curving, and I just want to follow that with the design for the bee farm. I know square designs are like the most efficient thing ever, but like efficiency isn't everything, you know? So I like to combine the rough-hewn fence, which I think looks prettier than the wooden fence, just because it's less orderly. But I like to combine that with the wooden fence gate, because it makes it easier to see where the gate is. I feel like the rough-hewn fence gates are always like tricky to tell apart from the fence, and you can't see where to get out. So I think this is actually a really big area, but that's not too bad. We have the space. And that means that we can spread things out a little bit more and still make it efficient. Maybe not space efficient, but still efficient from like a perspective of how many flowers to how many skeps we have. But before I close it up on the other side, I want to start designing where I want to put the skeps. And then I can see where the best place for the fence on the other side is. So right in the center, we need a tall thing that we can put the mother skep in, the one that's going to continue giving us new bee swarms. And I want to place that quite high so nobody can accidentally harvest it. And then the other skeps will just be placed on single fence posts like this. And I'm just gonna space them out in not too regular a pattern, but like, yeah, fairly close together. So if I haven't miscounted, I think we have place for 20 additional skeps here. So now I'm going to close up the fence. So I'm gonna go get the main skep now so I can remove my ugly dirt ladder. Alright. Up it goes. Let's get rid of the dirt. So now I need to place some of those straw dummies so that we can get rid of some angry bees. And in the other place, those were placed into like holes in the ground. Let's check it out. We do have some holes here and the dummies inside it. And I can kind of understand why you would want to do that so that they don't stick up so much, but I didn't really like it, to be honest, because the materials from the hive, like the reeds and the honeycomb as well, tended to fall down inside there and then you had to go in there and pick it up. So I'm not gonna do it that way. Instead, I'm just gonna place them around somewhere, and then of course we also need flowers. And I'm going to leave those dummies here as long as I haven't taken down all those beehives, although I guess I could start doing that now. Because I guess it's best if I place those first and then just distribute all the flowers around. I think like every square that has a flower planted on it cannot spawn a raccoon, and that is what we really want to avoid. So I am just going to need a ton of flowers, and I started collecting some. But let's just talk about the flowers in a second. First, I'm going to take care of those dummies. So there's one skep that hasn't made any honey yet, so I'm just going to pick that one up too and bring it over. So then we have 2 beehives that can start populating the other ones. Oh, there's a raccoon. Yeah, that one I think was probably trying to get to the beehives. No, you're not allowed. So I can't for the life of me figure out how to pick these things up from the ground. Here for this one I tried to dig out the block under it and that didn't work, it just fell down, and then I punched it so long that it eventually disappeared. So the internet says apparently right clicking with an empty hotbar slot or shift right clicking should work, but it just doesn't for me, so you guys get to stay for now and I'm going to make a bunch of new ones. So I guess I can kind of place those near the corners and people just have to run past them if they want to get rid of the bees. So let's talk flowers. So from my gardens around here, you guys know that I like the lupin flowers and also like the lily of the valley and the forget-me-nots, but those I don't have many left of them. And of course, the orange and the red lupin flowers are like the best ones, but you find those very rarely, so I don't have much left of them either. I did, however, collect a lot of purple and blue lupin flowers. I also really like the cornflowers, but I haven't found a lot of them yet. But I will always pick up more when I find them, and maybe we can eventually replace some flowers with them. So for now, I think I'm going to go mainly with the lupin flowers. And I collected a whole bunch of them. Oh, I have a few red ones left. I'm going to put them in two because that will look nice. And then look what I have here, some golden poppies. I don't even quite remember where I found those, but I think they're going to add a nice splash of color. So those red lupins, as you know, we always want to plant them in a place where we get the most out of them. So that is great. That is not so great. Those are going in a different place. Okay, I've distributed the golden poppies and the red lupins. So now I'm just going to put the other kind of lupin just everywhere in between. So I think this looks really pretty. I like the combination of colors. It's really colorful, but I don't know, not in a really garish way, I guess. So one thing you need for bee farming is a lot of reeds, and that's something else that I want to do soon. Just utilize some of that empty space here, maybe even where the previous bee farm was, to plant some more of those. So here's kind of where I'm torn between efficiency and things being pretty, because of course if they are a bit far apart and more randomly spaced, they look kind of pretty, but if you plant them really close together, you can use a scythe really efficiently to cut them down. So I just want to plant a few places where they're just kind of bunched up, and I hope that doesn't look too ugly. Maybe I will spruce it up with like a fence around it and some flowers next to it, so I'm going to try that. But anyway, I got all the reeds that I have and some clay, so now I'm going to build a lot of skeps and place them on here. Okay, all skeps are placed and I'm happy, and the bees are saying nearby flowers 129, population size large, so that's great. All of these skeps should be populated really soon. So now I just want to look after my animals one last time. So there are some things that happened. For example, we have 2 pigs, I don't know where the other one is right now, that are not in the pen anymore. I don't know if they glitched through when they grew up, or if, like, due to the amount of pigs that I have in there right now, they kind of pushed each other over the fence. But the second more mysterious thing is that we have this ram in here. And I'm pretty sure that's the ram that I used to have in there. So he's not generation 1, he's like a wild ram. So I heard that animals like to glitch through walls when they grow up, but he never grew up. He was an adult when we put him in there. So I really don't know what happened here. So if we look inside, we only have this ram here, and he's generation 1. He's one of the babies that were born in here. And he's angry about it. So now I need to get rid of the generation 0 animals in here, and also of that ram over there. And then we can continue the cycle. The chicken eggs also hatched, and one of the chicks remained in here apparently. Is it you? Chickens are so hard to deal with. No, it looks like she's the original one. So I'm going to kill her, and the rooster gets to stay because we didn't get another rooster. So if we look outside, we have 2 more hens here. So as soon as I've gotten rid of the generation 0 hen in there, I'm going to let them in and then try breeding them again as well. So I feel like one thing this bee farm could still use is a nice big oak tree right next to it. Though I don't know if the bees are affected by shade, so maybe I should research that first. But anyway, that is it for this episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye!